Hello and welcome to the live session. Welcome to Saro Dog Training. It's been a minute. It's been a while that
All
I
the
have
Saunders hit the headlines last year after dropping
on.
six.
Just want to make sure everything is working fine. If you are here, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the chat area if you have any issue listening, hearing, or um, not seeing. I think everything is working. Let me just double check. Not okay. Seems like it's working. Everything. So welcome to Sorrow Dog Training live session. If you have any questions, you can ask your question in the chat area using chat option. And if you want to support the channel as well, send a super chat as well in the using the chat area. When you ask your question, that would be great. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm gonna this. It's been a while. I haven't been active on YouTube for a while, just because I've been busy and also been trying to enjoy life a little bit. I can see that Happy Paws is here. Thank you for being here. Very excited to have you on board as well. Um, Feel free to ask your questions. If you have any questions, just use the chat area and let me know your questions. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is working. Yes, looks like it's working. Um, yeah, it's been a while. I have been away, just relaxing and chillaxing a little bit, doing basically other stuff other than YouTube. Creating videos and making videos and answering questions and working, uh, and living life, and taking care of two dogs and the family and everything takes time, right? You know that feeling. And what happens is that I just needed a little break again. So I started taking it easy and just didn't do much of YouTube videos or be involved with YouTube. That's why I'm back here now with a live session to see what's going on with you guys and just update you with my situation as well and answer some question, and let's talk about dogs. And as always, I would like to remind everybody that uh, having a dog, it takes a while. It takes a lot of energy, right? It's having a dog takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of you know manpower, a lot of uh, time. So I want to remind everybody, yes, if you want to have a dog who's, let's say, well behaved, then we are going to talk about do's and don'ts of owning a dog, and this is one of the formulas I always share with dog owners. I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to explain a little bit more. I can see that John Cipolla is here. Happy Father's Day. Yes. Happy Father's Day to all dog dads. You know, all dog dads. Yeah. Good day. Yes, it's all good. Happy Paul says, do you ever get burned out of dog training? I know you love it, but do you ever take a break? Good question. Um, you see, I come from background of dog training that doesn't use the traditional dog training method, so-called traditional. What I mean by traditional, uh, let me see if I can show you, actually explain a little bit more in depth. Um, Let me bring up uh, um, um, display that I can explain more. Let me see. Where is it? It's a good question, and I want to elaborate on that. Just give me a second. Let me just find it. Should be around. I was using it the other day. Okay, should be here. Um, yeah, I come from a background of dog training without the use of treats or traditional methods of dog training. Let me bring the. Okay, this is the one that I want to share. Not this one. Present, share. Okay, this one. There are many methods of dog training, and I don't use these so-called the traditional methods of dog training. And I think one of the reasons many dog owners or many dog trainers get burned out, uh, or they need to take a break is because they use the so-called traditional methods of dog training. And these traditional methods of dog training, just gonna remove your comment there so you can see all the whole um, presentation. There are these are 9 of the dog training methods that I know of. If you know any other dog training method that's not mentioned here, let me know as well. But overall, I feel that when you use the traditional methods of dog training, you do get, because you don't get great result, you get burned out. You have that burned out feeling. You need to take a break. But because I use play and praise reward system as a dog training system, I'm always having fun training my dog, and my dog is always having fun being trained. So overall, I don't get burned. I don't have that feeling that, oh, I need to take a break from training dogs or training my own dogs. I'm always training my dog. I would say, every day I would be training my dog no matter what, because my training method, I'm always playing and praising my dog, and when I mix it with the play as we play, or as I praise my dogs. So anytime could be a dog training opportunity. Anytime could be an opportunity for me to engage with my dog. Anytime could be an opportunity for me to teach something to my dog, and anytime could be an opportunity for my dog and me to interact. So could be a 5-minute training session, could be several training sessions that I do throughout the day, um, or it could be that I would do one good 15 minutes, 20 minutes of training session for the day, and that would be it. I do focus on providing my dog its daily 5 essential needs, right? And what are those daily 5 essential needs? I'm going to explain it in a moment. But overall, I do provide my dogs daily 5 essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and affection. And this is something that I do it every day, right? Every day I do provide these for my dog, and the way I do it is very simple, actually. It's very easy to do this, and once you get used to it, once it becomes a routine, and becomes part of your everyday activity, it becomes easy to do. So yeah, we'll talk about this a little bit more. But let me see what John is saying. John is saying she's snoring away behind me. Typical beagle. They're just fun, 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 and then they sleep and they snore. John Cipolla is saying, I see trainers of the species like birds use clickers and then a treat. No, thank you. Uh, I see what you mean. You see, I do recommend if you want to become a dog trainer, if you want to explore dog training overall, I do suggest you to experiment things and learn and figure out everything about dog training in general, animal training. I'm not an animal trainer, I'm a dog trainer. I focus only on dog training. I don't I don't think as a dog trainer you need to be specializing in everything. It's like when you go to a restaurant and the restaurant says we have all kinds of dishes. We have Asian, Mexican, Mediterranean, Western, foods. When you come across a restaurant like that, right? Uh, you know the food is not going to be good because they're trying to satisfy everybody. But if you go to, let's say, an Asian restaurant that they cook only make Asian food, the food is going to be good because they're specializing in that kind of food, right? So clicker training is something that as a chef, for example, it's good to learn all these cuisines, but you're going to be eventually narrowing it down to one cuisine, for example. But clicker training is good to know, but I would say clicker training is good for wild animals, such as birds. Um, you know, with dogs, we have the opportunity to communicate to them easily. Dogs have been bred and designed by humans for humans, so we can easily communicate to them and train them. There's no reason for us to complicate the relationship and complicate the communication and use additional tools that it's unnecessary. I mean, clicker training is good. It's something I'm not saying it harms the dog or it harms the relationship between you and your dog, but what it does, it complicates and it becomes another addition of tools or obstacles that comes between you and your dog. So, for example, many years ago, I was walking at the park and I saw a man who was walking his dog, and I think the dog was kind of like reacting or something like that. And the dog owner, this man was trying to correct the dog or, control the dog or whatever you call it, and was using clicker. And it was clicking, giving treats and giving commands and all in various versions. And I was watching this guy, and it was just, I, it was both funny and both, I felt really bad for this person because it felt like, he was trying his best to control the situation and control this dog, but it wasn't happening. The dog was reacting still to such something. So it was confusing for the dog, you know, and confusing for the owner. Rover sit and clicking and then giving treat and then clicking again and then you know sit and all this. So everything was going on. The person, that man had attended obviously a dog training program or class and had learned some basics about clicker training, and he was doing his best to use this method. It's one of the methods that I do have it. I had it in the list of dog training methods that we have. It's part of that list. uh, and what happens is it was just confusing for that person to, you could tell he was having a hard time and he was desperate. And I went ahead and talked to the person and I explained that you're not doing you're not doing it correctly, and it's not working. That's why I don't think clicker training and clickers are necessary, because it just creates another confusion, another additional step that you need to remember and master in order um, to communicate to your dog. You know, I don't think we need to do those. As I said, it's clicker training is one of uh, the 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 methods that many people use. Uh, but I don't think I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying don't use it or anything like that. Just saying it's not necessary to use it. That's kind of my feedback on that. Happy Paws is saying, asking, Sarah, have you ever thought about traveling around the animal shelter rescue, show them your technique? That's another good question, Happy Paws. Um, I I don't usually do that. I would go and I would have a little bit of um, some form of like something like TED talk, something explaining this. I'm not gonna be showing them. I'm not going to be showing the technique to people. Uh, the problem with there's a pros and cons of my training method. Let's talk about it. I want to be honest with you guys. I want to be, giving you everything that it actually applies to dog training from my method of dog training and also in general. So the pros and cons of dog training using play and praise is that when you are the pros are that you get great results, you get fast results, you get amazing results. The cons is that you need to have some form of relationship with that dog in order to be able to play with that dog or praise that dog. So most dogs, for example, in shelters and rescue organizations, they are in a very stressed uh, mindset. They're very stressful, right? And they are not in a good space, right? Physically, both physically and mentally and emotionally, they're not in good space. And for me to go and demonstrate to a dog who's really stressed and anxious and because of that has become probably aggressive, to go and try to play with that dog and teach it to learn certain things, it's just not possible, right? Because I don't have a relationship with that dog. I have to spend time and build a relationship with that dog in order for that dog to start trusting me and relaxing, actually first to relax and then trust me and then feel comfortable to interact with me. Now you're going to say then that's a problem. You can't train a dog, right? But the reality is, let's say the same dog, if you go and introduce, let's say, treats or food to this dog, and you see many dog trainers or many professional or even shelter workers, they will demonstrate and show you that, look, I'm giving this dog treats and this dog is opening up and trusting me and is starting to build up that relationship with me. The problem is that that dog is there are two things happening. The dog is either going to refuse the food because it's too stressed, too emotionally unbalanced to accept the food. So he's going to either refuse the food or he's going to accept the food and take the food, right, and eat it. And when they eat it, And it doesn't mean that dog is trusting that person. It just means that that dog is saying, huh, this human is bringing me food and is feeding me and is giving me food. Opportunity comes, I'll take that. I'll take advantage of that. Now, is it going to make this dog to really trust that human? I don't think so. I don't believe so. It's a momentary uh, relationship that they're building. If there was no food, there wouldn't be any relationship between those two. And the food is temporary band-aid solution. And once the person is out of food and treats, and then comes next time without food or anything, that dog is gonna probably react to that person because it has been programmed previously that this person brings food, brings treats. If you don't bring treats and food, I'm gonna go back to my feelings and emotions that I used to have. Where is food? I'm expecting food now. So you're gonna be kind of depending on food to build that relationship with that dog, and also that dog is going to be needing food or depending on food to believe and trust you. And if there's no food, then there is no trust, there's no relationship. So therefore you have to continuously keep feeding this dog, giving treats more and more and more until comes a day that you don't have to give as much food and treats that you used to. And then what happens is the dog doesn't really believe in you because it's yes, in its mind, oh, this person gives food, but that's all it sees you now, food dispenser. So this is why I think, you know, the first thing that we have to do when it comes to shelter dogs or dogs who are in rescue is not to train them in that environment, train them in that situation, and hope for us that um, this dog is going to be trainable to the point that we can change its behavior and then rehome this dog. No, the person who is willing to adopt that dog and take it out of the shelter has to understand that that dog needs space and time to, first of all, get out of the jail. It's in a jail, in the prison. First, you take it out of jail, out of prison, you remove it from there, you put it in an environment that is calm and relaxed and is very different than prison, and you allow the dog to relax and start cultivating a new behavior in its brain and mind. And then you start building a relationship, and then once you build a relationship, then you start implementing training using play and praise reward system. You know what I mean? Anybody who trains dogs in the shelter, dogs at the shelter, hoping that they would be trained and be homed is not looking at it in a realistic way. It's that dog is not trainable in that environment. Why is it that that dog is not trainable in that environment? Let me show you, explain something to you. Let me show you something. Let me bring my, um, let me see if it's going to show. Why is it that I don't recommend doing that? So the reason it won't work is because people take the dog. So let's say, you know, this level. You have to train a dog in levels. Levels make the dog to learn faster and better, and it makes you also to become a better dog owner, dog trainer, right? When you think of it as levels. Now, what are levels? Levels are when you take the time to spend and invest some time with the dog in an environment that is capable of learning, and when you're able to input information in that dog, and then once the dog learns that, then you move to the next level. So you start from level one, which is home, right? So a dog in a shelter is not at home. First has to come out of the shelter, and then come home, learn everything that it needs to know and everything that is good for that dog at home before moving to backyard, and then move to front yard, and then streets, and then the dog parks or parks overall. This is another formula that I use when it comes to my students, my clients. We go through these steps. Most people most people, they come and say, hey, my dog is reacting at the park, right? So happy pause, I hope I answered your question with that long answer. But most people, they come to me and say, you know what, my dog is reacting at the park, right? And I want it to stop behaving that way, right? So this is where the dog is reacting, level five, right? Can you see it? Let me see if it's my. Um, mm, you can see my mouse. Should show you the mouse. Maybe I have to do this. Present, yes. Okay, now you can see it better. Yes. So most people, most dog owners, they say, "Oh, my dog is reactive at the park. How do I fix this?" So I asked them, how is your dog reacting on the streets? They say, yeah, it still reacts on the street, or no, it doesn't react on the street. But most of the time, they react on the streets. How does your dog react on in the front yard? And most dog owners, they would probably say, yeah, it's still reacting in the front yard. I'll say, okay, how about your home backyard? Does your dog still react in the backyard? Some would say yes, some would say no. It's fine at the backyard. I'll say, okay, how about at home? Does your dog react at home? Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So you see, we're going backwards here. So the reason your dog or dogs overall react at the park is because you're not taking proper steps to train your dog in proper levels before you get the results that you want. If your dog is reactive at the park, that's not where you should go and correct the dog or fix the dog or train the dog. This is the results you got. That's all your that's the results of you going too fast with your dog. If your dog is reactive at the park, is because you skipped all these steps. Most people, what they do, they go from home to park and they say, my dog is reacting at the park. Of course, it would react at the park because you skipped level. So what does these levels do to your dog? So let's say if you have 100% control of your dog at home, then you can move on to level two, which is, the backyard. So what happens is, when you're at home, your dog is nice and comfortable, relaxed, knows that environment, is familiar with that environment. And then what happens is, it 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 is comfortable to learn in that environment, right? So when it's comfortable to learn in that environment, is it capable of, for you, you're capable of getting results 100% at home. So once your dog, for example, what I mean by 100%, your dog knows exactly what sit means, stay means, come means. For example, you're at home and you're upstairs or you're downstairs and you're saying Rover come, and Rover comes 100%, no questions asked. It comes to you and sits and stays as long as you want it. Then you know, okay, I got good control of my dog at home. Then you can move on to the next level, which is the backyard. Now, why are we choosing the backyard? Because in the backyard we have different stimulus, different. It's a different environment now. We have different um, things that are going to distract your dog and also distract you. You know, you're at the backyard and all of a sudden you hear something, you look at it and you get distracted, and boom, you get distracted, right? Uh, or the neighbors start mowing the lawn and you get distracted with that. Oh, John is mowing the lawn. Huh? I wonder why is John mowing the lawn today? Usually it mows on Tuesdays. You know, you get distracted, right? Right? Uh, so your dog gets distracted too. Squirrel, right? Sees squirrel or senses squirrel or something like that. So are you able to control the same way that you were able to control and get results at home in here? If you can't, you shouldn't be expecting your dog to give you the same results that you want at the park, right? So you want to make sure that you get 100% good results in each level before you move to the next level. So for example, the example that I was giving about the man being with the clicker at the park, trying so hard to get results and control its dog because they went from home to the park all of a sudden. And that poor man hoped that whatever it has learned in the classroom would give its results at the park as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So these are some of the do's and don'ts of dog training. You don't want to train your dog at the park until you have gone through these levels. And you know, in my signature program, with my students, with my clients, it's very hard to encourage them. It's hard to to tell a person, a dog owner, don't train your dog, don't take your dog to the park until you have complete control of your dog. And in the program, I that's why I lay down systems and lessons that we can work on to break it down, to make sure that each person is able to get some form of results, be successful, even the dogs to be successful first at home and then in the backyard and on, right? And many people, they just rush. Most people, they rush because they want to take the dog to the park. The park, it shouldn't be your goal. Yes, long-term goal, yes, but short-term, you take one step at a time. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Happy pause. John says it was the method that I noticed that was similar to clicking for success for a dog. And I prefer your method. It works. I don't give treats. I give her a boop on the nose. Yes. You know, by the way, John is one of my students, and he's gone through the puppy training program so far, and he has learned the value of not giving treats. It's not that we're against giving treats to dogs. I give treats for whatever reason. I'm not giving treats just for changing behavior. And John is saying, he gives a book on her nose. That's interaction. That's all a dog wants. It wants to interact with you. If you give that interaction back to your dog, if you give interaction to your dog is going to give you 100% back interaction. You're going to get better results if it comes from heart to heart, right? Happy Paul says, Saro, you make so much sense. Oh, yeah, I'm great. That's great. I'm happy that it does make sense. CR, I can't get my dog to leave from around home. She's afraid to go out of her comfort zone. It's a slow process because when I get her, I couldn't get her to go outside of the house. And now she lives going out, but around the house. Uh, So, CR, I'm assuming you have adopted a dog who has some behavioral issues, let's be honest. And also, obviously, it has experienced some trauma in its life, and it's having a hard time figuring out what to do. So, remember, I was explaining the levels, right? I was explaining the levels. So your dog is stuck in this level, right? It's not feeling comfortable to go. Maybe it's level 1 and 2, and it's stuck and can go level 3. It's having a hard time going out. Maybe even it's level 3. I'm not sure exactly around the house. So you're saying around the house. So it's level 1, 2, 3 is doing okay, but level 4 and 5 is challenging one. So CR, what I do suggest you to do, let me see if it's going to change the screen. No, it didn't. I have to start refreshing the screen. Here's what you need to do, CR. I see. She's at level 3. Yes. So CR, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of it this way. Mute that. Um, when you have a dog who has experienced trauma, and is a rescue dog, and you know has a hard time moving forward, as a dog owner, I'm sure you feel bad for your dog, and you're you're very attached to this section affection. You're very attached, you're very focused on maybe 5 and 4, 4 and 5, right? A lot of affection, a lot of care. You're saying, oh, poor guy, poor dog, I feel you, oh, so bad, let me care for you, let me share affection for you. So when you approach, this is the formula that it applies to every dog. This is, a formula for a normal dog, right? This is the formula. You have to provide exercise, and then training, and then socialization, and then care, and lastly, share affection, right? This is a formula for a normal dog. And your goal is to turn your dog into a normal dog. Since you have an unusual situation, what you want to do is help your dog to become normal. So, because you have taken this role of adopting and rescuing a dog who has some trauma in its life, you have to you have to be a lot more um, confident, and a lot more uh, you have to pursue and commit more than a regular dog owner with the regular dog. You have to commit more to this formula and to do this in 100% level. So what I mean by that is, instead of focusing mainly on these two areas, I want you to start focusing on these three areas: one, two, and three. Try to provide your dog good, decent amount of exercise. What I mean by good, decent amount of exercise, because we have a dog who's dealing with trauma, we don't want to. It's because we're dealing with a dog who has trauma. We don't want to stress that dog more. We don't want to create more trauma in his life. And unfortunately, you're going to hear from most dog trainers or professionals will tell you you got to exercise this dog a lot. But in my point of view, what you want to do is actually reduce the physical activity of exercise, but still give it good decent amount of exercise that it can relieve some of the some of those pent up energy, physical energy that it has. And as you can see, I haven't even asked what dog it is, what breed it is, what kind of. It doesn't matter. When we are dealing with an individual who has trauma, this is the process. It doesn't matter what breed they are, it doesn't matter what age they are, it doesn't matter what size they are, what doesn't matter what sex they are. All we have to focus on is providing its daily five essential needs on in a proper level and amount. So I highly suggest not to over exercise your dog, because when you over exercise, you're actually causing a little bit more stress to get into your dog's system. Too much of everything is not good, and too little of everything is not good either. So we want to give decent amount of exercise. So all you have to figure out is how much is a good amount to exercise your dog. So let's say your dog enjoys 15 minutes of walk, you provide that 5 minutes of walk or 15 minutes of walk. Don't give too much, don't give too little. Provide that decent amount of exercise that your dog enjoys, right? Don't think of, I'm going to give more because I think it's better for my dog. Figure out what makes your dog happy. If it's 15 minutes, give it 15 minutes. If it's half an hour, give half an hour. Don't go over 45 minutes. Don't go over 1 hour, because, again, we don't want to over exercise a dog who's um, traumatized and is stressed. We want to give a little bit of exercise, physical exercise, just to relieve that pent up energy that they have. But your focus should be on training. Training is a mental stimulation. This is where you should be uh, investing most of the energy that you're putting on your dog's um, stimulation, daily stimulation, um, with training, mental stimulation. Okay. Mental stimulation is very beneficial and crucial for dogs who have trauma. Let me read what you're saying here. She was almost a year when I got her last year. She's not a barker. She loves sniffing, leaping, and playing with other dogs. As long as she's by home, she doesn't eat treats outside, only in the house. So that's first of all, she doesn't eat treats outside, only in the house. That's because, again, when we have this is, again, I hope I hope this makes my point. When dogs are not comfortable and relaxed, they refuse to eat. So That's not natural, normal behavior of a dog. So when we have that flaw, I call that a flaw. When we have that flaw, we better not to depend on treats to reward the dog, because there would be times and situations and conditions that a dog is going to get into that zone that they are not comfortable, and they won't accept food as a reward, and they won't eat. So this is why I don't use, this is one of the reasons why I don't use treats to train dogs, because there is a flaw. You're going to say, but also there's a flaw because play doesn't apply. The dog may not be able, may not feel comfortable to play. What all these means is it is indication to us that our dogs are not comfortable in that environment and that situation. We shouldn't push them. We should help them to feel more comfortable and relaxed. Don't try to feed your dog or play with your dog in an environment that causes that dog to become stressed. Remember, uh, your this dog is up to level 3, so level 4 and 5 is already challenging, right? So don't try to force this dog to be relaxed in a level 4 and 5 in order to take in treats. Forcing is not going to help, right? You don't want to force. So she's almost 2 years old, let's say. She loves sniffing, so sniffing can become good mental stimulation. So just remember this and know this as well, that when you take your dog for, let's say, half an hour walk and your dog is sniffing, that's equal to an hour, 2 hours of running and jogging and playing with other dogs. It's a lot of stimulation when they go for a walk and sniff, especially that she loves sniffing. Just think of it this way. Let me give you this tip. It's not important if your dog goes from home to the park, that it's valuable for your dog. You're saying, okay, my dog went all the way from here to there. If it takes your dog to go from here to here half an hour, you take and invest in that time. If in that within this distance, if your dog is sniffing and is just stimulating itself, and it took you from here to here, let's say 15 minutes, you take another 15 minutes to come back, that's half an hour walk. It's not the distance that it makes the dog to be happy, it's the quality of the walk. Quality is more important than the quantity. Quantity is, you want to go all the way here and there and do all those stuff. Don't focus on that. Focus on, I'm just going to allow my dog to do whatever it wants. If it's sniffing that it loves and wants to play with other dogs, you're saying it loves to play with other dogs, allow it to do that. But let's go back to the formula. But use training, use training to improve the confidence, to improve the communication and language that you have between you and your dog, to improve that mental stimulation, so that you can help it to be more social with dogs and environments and other areas. So, socialization is the next thing. Socialization is not just socialization with dogs and humans. In your case, with your dog, it would be the environment. So you give proper exercise to your dog, so your dog is physically stimulated, and then start training and building up training levels and training, uh, um, training uh, obedience levels to the point that your dog is more controllable, confident, and is paying attention to you more, so that you can control it and say, you know what, you can go and play with other dogs, and we can go over here, we can go over there as well. Pay attention to me and follow my cues so I can help you to move forward. So start focusing on these three rather than these two. These two, most dog owners naturally provide and give and do with their dogs, anyways, right? I don't have to tell dog owners, care for your dog. They know how to care for their dog. Actually, most dog owners, they care for the dog very well, right? And I don't have to actually also tell people how to share affection with their dogs. They know how to share affection. You know how to share affection with your dog, right? I don't have to teach you that. The only thing that I teach dog owners about care and affection is I highly suggest you to provide species appropriate diet for your dog, fresh, homemade diet. That will make a big difference in its life, in its behavior as well. And the thing that I always consider reminding dog owners about affection is that you can use affection as a reward. You can use affection as piece of treat. So, for example, if your dog sits, you could, yeah, definitely give it a treat, a piece of treat. But you can also say, good boy, good girl, what a girl, what a cutie girl. Look at you, you're perfect. That praise or even play, play session with your dog for the behavior that it has given you, that becomes affection. And affection can become a great tool and also become a great reward for dogs. So if you do it properly, if you provide these five daily essential needs of your dog on daily basis and in this order. So what I mean by that, CR, is instead of getting up in the morning and saying, "Oh my goodness, you're so cute. I love you so much. I, oh my goodness, goodness, share affection, and then let's go have breakfast. Breakfast? Good. Yes, good girl. Breakfast. Let's go for a walkie and skip the training and let's go play with dogs." You're all over the place. You're not following the formula. The formula has to be, let's get up in the morning, we go for a walk, we do a 15 minutes of training session every day. And then if you're good at this training and you learned and you listened and you obeyed my commands and did exactly what I asked you to do, then I'm going to reward you with some play with other dogs. And then once you have done that part, we've done the sniffing, we've done the mental stimulation training, we've done the socialization. Let me take you to this environment. Follow me, listen to my commands, follow me here and there. If you're a good girl, then I'll feed you and then I'll share affection with you. So if you do it this way, then your dog is going to say, I'm not going to get affection from mom or dad or my family until they have given me all my needs, provided all my needs. So this way, what happens is your dog is saying, I hope that you're going to provide me my daily five essential needs. And also you become an educated dog owner that is going to say, let me provide you your daily five essential needs before I share affection with you, right? I think if you do it that way, you would get better results. CR says, thank you. Yes, I spoil her too, and I think she's training me. Well, but you are so right. Thank you. Uh, I cook for her, groom her, and she's my baby pit bull terrier. That's great. I love that you cook for her, you groom her. So cooking for her, grooming her, and having baby her are all these parts, right? These two. So you're focused on this. If you want, if you want to get better results for the next month or three, focus on these three: proper form of exercise, proper form of training, proper form of socialization, and then provide care and affection. I hope that makes sense. I hope I was able to give you some insight into do's and don'ts of dog training. Um, got it. You are telling my story, and I don't even know, and you don't even know me. You have a fan for life. Oh, great! Thank you. That means a lot to me. And also, this comes from over 20 years of experience with working with dogs and dog owners. I Most dog owners, most of my students, they say, they say that um, you don't even you haven't even met me, and you know exactly how I feel and how my dog feels, because I have experienced all kinds of dogs and all kinds of dog owners, and I've heard a lot of stories, right? And that's my passion. The reason I do this is because I love it. I love working with dog owners, and I know how you feel as a dog owner, and I've been there. I've done that, and I know how it feels to live with a dog. It's it's the best thing in the world. I can't live without dogs, and I love my dogs. I have two at the moment, Annie and Harvey, and we do everything together. Yesterday we went for a trip, day trip. They were with me, and they were with us in general, and we had such a good time. They had such a good time. They were such good dogs, and can't imagine living without a dog. And they give back so much to us. And I know how you feel, and I know, CR, for example, you're doing your best to provide the best for your dog, but you know it's hard. But I think it's simple and it's doable if you know exactly what you're supposed to do. Not knowing what to do is what is going to cause a lot of confusion in you and your dog. And then what happens is you don't get the results that you want, and therefore life is not as enjoyable as it should be, right? I hope that makes sense. Nancy is also one of my students. Thank you for being here. Welcome, Nancy. You're telling my story too. uh, it's a familiar story. I've been there. I used to do that. I used to, I spoil my dogs. I used to spoil my dogs, and I spoiled my dogs as well. And it's not that I'm saying don't spoil your dogs, right? I've been there and I've done that. The only difference that I think is between me and you is that I do spoil my dogs in this department. These two department, I do spoil my dogs, but I also provide their other three daily essential needs. I make sure that I provide these before I spoil them, because I love spoiling dogs, and I know you love spoiling your dogs too. It makes you feel good. It makes your dog feel good too. Uh, so when you feel good, you wanna you wanna spread that feeling and emotion and energy with others and other creatures. In this case, dogs. And because I don't want to deal with my dogs who have behavioral issues, and I don't want to go through stress and anxiety myself and cause more stress and anxiety for my dogs, is that's why I I want to spoil my dogs. I love spoiling my dog. I enjoy that. But if I want to spoil my dogs, I have to make sure that I provide this formula for my dog. I provide all their five daily essential needs before I spoil them. And as I said, Nancy is one of my students at the moment. I do great with the love and affection and food, and I'm still behind on the other steps. You'll get there, Nancy. We're working on that. We're working on that. It takes time. It takes time to change. You know, um, I was I always tell people, 60 to 90% of dog training is dog owner training. 10 to 30% of it is actually dog training. If I am able to change your behavior, your actions that you're taking to improve your dog's life and also improve your life, that's the hard part, obviously, but it's doable. And that's why you have me, Nancy, as your coach to help you to get there. And by the way, if anybody else wants to work with me one on one, and you want to be part of the process of getting the results that you want with your dog, you can join my program. Um, it's called the Perfect Dog Plan. You can apply at the link below, which is basically based on invitation. This program is based on invitation. What that means is it's a program that allows you to work with me one on one as your coach. We have online dog training lessons, videos, and content that you can um, go through them on your speed and learn them. And also, if you need additional support and help and you have questions and you need me to be there with you and hold your hand and guide you and support you, you have me as your coach, um, as a lifetime coach. This is a program that is not just few weeks program, is not just few months program. It's a program that is there for life. And I'm available to help you with your challenges with your dog for life. So if you want to work with me and if you want to benefit from this program, I highly suggest you to set up a video call. It's a free video call with me. I talk to you in person to make sure that this is the right program for you and if it's going to work for you, if it's something that you're going to benefit from this program. Um, and then if I feel that you're the right person for the program, then you're invited to register for the program. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is set up a free video call. But before that, you have to set up a day and time that we can meet. Um, the link is in the description of this video. Nancy says, I highly recommend Saro. He's doing a great job training me. Yes, I am the biggest problem. Thank you for your feedback, um, Nancy. Um, I am enjoying actually coaching you and helping you. We're on this journey together, and we will get there, and we will be able to, achieve. You will be able to achieve the goals that you hope for. Marge is here as well. Welcome, Marge. Thank you for being here. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. I just adopted Lemon Beagle. She's a sweetheart. Uh, Welcome to adoption. Right? Adopting, first of all, adopting a dog, that's great. Second of all, that's amazing that you adopted a beagle. And Marge, just to let you know, I don't know if you were listening, but 5 minutes ago or so, I was explaining things that a dog owner should know about, especially when you're adopting a dog. So if you just arrived, go back in the video, and I there's a part that I'm explaining to CR. The question was regarding her adopted dog, that she doesn't have the confidence to go outside the house. I explained what to do and what not to do. I highly suggest you to go back and watch that section actually, and get some feedback there, some information. Um, Oh, so you watched the video from the beginning. I'm glad you did. And I hope you got something out of that. And Marge, if you need again support and help, feel free to set up a session. Wow, CR, thank you very much for the support to the channel. That's great. So CR just supported the channel using Super Chat. That's great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, CR. And that's a great uh, support to the channel. So yes, Marge, you go ahead and watch from the video from the beginning. And if you want to set up a session with me and work with me as well, the link is in the description. You can set up a video call and uh, talk to me in person. Um, does anybody else have any questions for me? If you have any other questions, let me know. I think we have reached the end of the live session today. But if you have any questions, let me know. I will be answering them right away. And thank you all for being here. I really enjoy spending some time with you guys, talk about dogs and, solve problems. Um, So if there are no questions, thank you very much for being here. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel right there. And also hit the like button if you enjoyed this live session, this video. Um, Please share the video with other dog owners, other family members, whoever you think that is going to benefit from this video. Please share it. I'll be around. I'll come around again. I'm just taking it easy a little bit now, and I'm enjoying life. But if you have any other questions, leave those questions in the comments area. And yes, thank you for everybody. Thank you for everybody for being here. Thumbs up, everybody, please. Thank you. Happy pause for your support as well. I hope you enjoyed this session. I had fun. I hope you had fun too. March says, thanks, your videos are very helpful. I'm glad. Yeah, I have tons of videos about beagles, how to work with beagles. As you can see, I have beagles everywhere. I at the moment, I have two beagles, Annie and Harvey. But Jonah passed away a few years ago, and he's still in my heart, and beagles are the best. But I also, love all dogs. All dogs are special. Dogs are very special. Um, Dogs have a special effect on you, right? Um, and they make you become a special person. And I had the opportunity to become a dog trainer, a dog lover, uh, because I had dogs. I have dogs. So, again, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this session. I will see you soon. I will see you next time. And remember, until next time, have fun with your dog. Okay. Don't forget to have fun with your dog. All right. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care. Bye.